Good morning, students. This is Padmanabhan, botany teacher. In the previous class, we discussed about aerial, subaerial, underground stems along with the parts of leaf. In that parts of leaf, the final part, that is the stipules, are left behind. So what are stipules? We discussed about base of the leaf, and petiole, stalk of the leaf, then about leaf lamina or blade, then about stipules. The stipules are the lateral appendage of leaf. This is the base of leaf. Stalk of leaf, petiole, leaf lamina. Either side of the leaf base, both sides of the leaf base, small leaf-like structures are developed small. These lateral appendages are otherwise called as stipules. The stipules are found in dicotyledonous plants, whereas the stipules are absent in monocotyledonous leaves. These stipules, that is lateral appendages on either side of the leaf base, are useful to protect the axillary bud. Initially, and then they may be fall off after expansion of leaf. So after expansion of leaf, these stipules become fall. Initially, they are useful to protect the axillary buds. Either side of the leaf base, both sides of the leaf base, the small leaf-like lateral appendage is called stipules. If a leaf has stipules, then it is said to be stipulate leaves. For example, Fabaceae family members. Whenever stipule is absent, exstipulate leaves. Liliaceae monocot plant. So generally in dicot plants such as Fabaceae members, the stipules are found, hence it is called stipulate leaf. Whether in the monocot like Liliaceae family, the stipules are absent, so exstipulate leaf. Stipules are present, the leaf is termed as stipulate. Whether the stipules are absent, the leaf was termed as exstipulate. That is about stipules. Then the types of leaves. There are broadly, the leaves are categorized into two types more. That is one, a simple leaf, and the next one, compound leaf. Simple leaf and the compound leaf, these are the two types of leaves are found in different plants. What is a simple leaf? Means the leaf which is entire without any dissections or any lobes. A simple is said to be entire. Or maybe incisions are found, that incisions does not cut the midrib. So incision means inward foldings, but these infoldings does not cut the midrib. Let us see here also. So the infoldings or incisions does not cut the midrib. Such leaves are said to be simple leaves. Example, hibiscus, mustard, cotton, castor, etc. Sunflower, etc. Then what is a compound leaf? Let us observe. When a simple leaf was dissected into, or incisions were entered up to the midrib and cut the leaf into several bits, then the incisions go up to midrib and cut the leaf into smaller bits like this. Now what happens? The simple leaf becomes having number of bits like this. These number of smaller bits are otherwise called as leaflets. So let us see here a simple leaf. In that simple leaf, the margins are gets infolded or incisions. That incisions up to midrib was cutted and total leaf was cut into smaller bits. That smaller bits are otherwise called as leaflets. These leaflets are formed either side of the midrib. Now this midrib is otherwise called as rachis. This midrib is otherwise called as rachis. So either side of the midrib the leaflets are found. The axillary bud was found in the axils of petiole or in the axils of compound leaf, but the axillary bud was not found in the axils of leaflets. So in the axil of leaflet there is no axillary bud. Only at the main petiole or rachis axillary bud was found in a compound leaf. Here also, axillary bud was found. Here also axillary bud was found, right? Like this, either side the leaflets are present now. Such compound leaves are called pinnate compound leaves. For example, neem, tamarind, acacia. Whereas the leaflets are born on the tip of the petiole, means the leaf was dissected like this into number of bits. Let us see in this type of leaf, we observe that leaflets on the point. Leaflets are born at a point. Let us see. Let us see here, the leaflets are joined at a point that is tip of petiole. Looks like a palm. Looks like a palm, fingers of our palm. So these type of leaflets are said to be found in the palmately compound leaf. So just I am going to repeat. The leaflets are found either side of the midrib that is called rachis is said to be pinnate compound leaf, neem, tamarind, acacia. Whereas the leaflets are found at the tip of the petiole, join at a point, then it is called palmate compound leaf. So, palmate compound leaf example, Bombyx ceiba or silk cotton. Bombyx ceiba or silk cotton is an example of palmate compound leaf, pinnate compound leaf, neem, tamarind and acacia. In pinnate compound leaf, leaflets are found in either side. In palmate compound leaf, leaflets are joined at a point, that is tip of the petiole. That is the main difference. Looks like palm, right? So this is palmate compound, this is pinnate compound. Whatever it may be, the compound leaf have axillary bud on its base of the petiole only, stalk only, not in the base of leaflets. So leaflet base does not have axillary bud. Petiole or base only have axillary bud. That is the main important point. This is simple leaf. Here also axillary bud is there in the petiole base, but the leaf margin is entire. Even incisions are found, but that incisions does not cut the midrib. Incision does not cut the midrib, and a simple leaf was found. This is about a simple leaf and compound leaf. Then about phyllotaxy or phyllotaxy. One of the important topic, simple and important point about leaves. What is phyllotaxy? The mode of or the method of arrangement of leaves the mode of or the method of arrangement of leaves on the stem or on the branches. So, on the main stem or on the branches, the method of arrangement of or pattern of arrangement of or mode of arrangement of leaves is nothing but phyllotaxy. There are main three phyllotaxies are found in different plants. That is one, alternate or spiral phyllotaxy. Alternate or spiral phyllotaxy. Let us see here in the spiral phyllotaxy. At every node, a single leaf was developed. Node, one leaf. Node, one leaf. Node, one leaf. Means at every node, one leaf was developed. Such an arrangement is alternate or spiral, or looks like spiral. Example, hibiscus, mustard, sunflower, etc. Then second one, opposite phyllotaxy. Here opposite means at a node a pair of leaves are developed. At every node pair of leaves are developed. Pairs. Here one pair, here one pair, here one pair. This pair of leaves are arranged either side of a node is same in all nodes. Means pair of leaves in a node is the same plane of another node, same plane of another node. Means all nodes have the pair of leaves in same plane. Such opposite phyllotaxy is called opposite superposed or superimposed. Example, Quisqualis or Gua. Quisqualis and Gua. Whereas in another type of opposite phyllotaxy, that is opposite decussate. The opposite decussate means a pair of leaves in a node is right angle to the next node. So a pair of leaves in a node, a right angle to the next node. Again the next node, right angle. See here, these leaves are east and west. These are north and south. Again east and west. So pair of leaf in a node is right angle to the next pair. Again right angle to the next pair. Likewise, each pair right angle to the next one. This type of opposite phyllotaxy is called opposite decussate. Each pair of leaves in a node, same plane arranged in the next node and do so. This is called opposite superimposed, found in Gua, Quisqualis. This was found in Calotropis. Calotropis, opposite decussate. So opposite means a pair of leaves are found at every node. In opposite superimposed, each pair is the same plan to the top next pair. But in opposite decussate, one pair in a node is right angle to the next pair of the next node. That is the main difference between these two, superimposed and decussate. Then the last one, world phyllotaxy. World phyllotaxy. World means each node has more than one leaf. More than two leaves are found at every node. 1, 2, 3 at a node. 1, 2, 3, 4 at another node. Means each node have produce more than two leaves. So each node possesses more than two leaves. Such a phyllotaxy is called world. Each node has one leaf, only one leaf. That is called alternate. Each node has two leaves. That is a pair of leaves. That is called opposite. That is the main important. So world phyllotaxy was found in Nerium and Alstonia. Very important. Nerium and Alstonia plants have world phyllotaxy. More than two leaves are found at every node. So that is about phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy means method of or mode of arrangement of leaves in nodes of the branch or of the main stem. Alternate means at every node only one leaf is there. That is spiral also. Alternate or otherwise called as spiral. Opposite means each node have a pair of leaves. That pair of leaves in same plant, that is called opposite. Superimposed, the pair of leaf in a node, right angle to the another pair, right angle to the another pair, that is called opposite decussate, found in calotropis. Whorled phyllotaxy means more than two leaves found at every node, that is called whorled, found in Nerium and Alstonia. This is about phyllotaxy, one of the important concept. Then leaf modifications. We know already, we discussed that root modifications, stem modifications, stem modifications, different kinds of stem modifications, etc. But in the leaf, the main part of the leaf is called leaf lamina. The main function of the leaf is called photosynthesis, already we discussed that. Apart from photosynthesis, a complete leaf or a part of leaf, complete leaf, entire leaf, or a part of leaf. What are the parts of leaf? Base of the leaf, stipules, stalk of the leaf, petiole, leaf lamina, right? So any part of leaf or a total leaf gets modified in its structure to perform other functions, that is various functions. Such leaves are under leaf modifications we are now going to discuss. The several types of leaf modifications are there. Out of that, first one, leaf tendrils. We know about the tendrils. Already we discussed under stem. Tendril means what, ma? The wiry, coiled, delicate structure meant for climbing. So the wiry, coiled, sensitive, delicate structures useful for climbing is said to be tendril. When the tendril was developed from the axillary bud of the stem or terminal bud of the stem, then it is called stem tendrils. Stem tendrils. Example, goats, Vitis vinifera, we discussed that. But in leaf, in some plants, the total leaf, or in some other plants, a part of leaf modified into tendrils, that is called leaf tendril. Let us see in Pisum sativum, pea plants, the terminal leaflets in a compound leaf. The terminal leaflets in a compound leaf gets modified into tendrils. Terminal leaflets modify into tendril. In which plant? Pisum sativum. Pisum sativum, pea plant. Whereas in some plants like Lathyrus, the whole leaf gets modified tendril. This is a stipule, foliar stipule. A foliar stipule here total leaf becomes modified into tendril. Complete leaf gets modified into tendril in Lathyrus plant. Whereas in Gloriosa superba, the tip of the leaf modified into tendril. Leaf tip, tendril in Gloriosa. Here in pea plant, terminal leaflets modified into tendril. Here complete leaf modified into tendril in Lathyrus. In Gloriosa, tip of the leaf modify into tendril. In clematis, plants, the stipule gets modified into tendril. Sorry, petiole modified into tendril. Petiole modified into tendril in clematis. Whereas in some other plants, Lathyrus, stipules are modified tendril. In Dioscorea, so different parts, stipules, leaf tip, complete leaf, petiole or terminal leaflets gets modified tendril. What are tendrils? The tendrils are wiry, coiled, delicate structures, sensitive structures useful for climbing of the plant. Leaf part modified into tendril here in this, that is called leaf modification. Leaf tendrils. Then secondly, spines. We already discussed in phylloclast, the stem itself modified into flattened leaf-like structure, that is phylloclast. Where the leaves are reduced into spines. Leaves are reduced into spines. In where? Opuntia or cactus. Opuntia is otherwise called as cactus. So these plants, the stem itself modify into phylloclad to perform photosynthesis. The leaves are gets modified into spines, which are modified to spines to minimize or to avoid the transpiration. We already discussed under stem modification now. So leaves are gets modified into spines here in these plants. Then thirdly, storage leaves. It is also discussed under stem modification, that is the underground stem was discoid and has adventitious roots. Discoid stem, but the leaves, basal underground leaves are stores the food material. Underground scale leaves participate in storage of food. Example, onions and garlic. So here in this garlic and onions, the stem was discoid, the leaf bases, underground scaly leaf or underground leaf bases stores food material. Hence the leaves modify into perform the food storage function here in this onion and the garlic. Then reproductive leaves. In some plants like Bryophyllum, Begonia, and in Scilla indica, the leaf margins have epiphyllous buds. The buds are developed on the margins of the leaf. These buds are called epiphyllous or adventitious. Bud. Epi means upper, phylla means leaf. Epiphyllous means on the margins or on the upper side of the leaf, margins of the leaf, the buds are developed. These buds are otherwise called as adventitious buds also. Whenever these buds get contact with soil, they can able to produce roots as well as leaves. So the adventitious buds participate in vegetative reproduction. So these leaves are said to be reproductive leaves, propagated, vegetative propagated leaves. So leaf margin have buds, that is called epiphyllous buds or epiphyllous buds or adventitious buds. Whenever these buds get contact with soil, they can able to produce roots and shoot system. So these buds propagated vegetatively. Such leaves are called reproductive leaves, found in Bryophyllum, Begonia and Scilla. Bryophyllum very important, right? Next, phyllodes. We already know about phylloclade and cladode also. But phylloclade is a stem modification. Cladophyll also stem modification. In phylloclade, total stem modified leaf-like structure. In cladophyll, a part of stem modified into photosynthetic organ. But here, leaf part becomes modified into photosynthetic organ. Instead of leaf lamina, petiole gets modified into photosynthetic organ here. In the plants like Acacia melanoxylon or simply Australian Acacia, common name Australian Acacia, scientific name Acacia melanoxylon. In these plants, the leaf is a pinnately compound leaf mass. So pinnately compound leaves, these are the leaflets, right? This is the what? Petiole, right? Top of the leaf. The leaflets are soon disintegrated or short-lived. Leaflets are short-lived and hence the petiole becomes bulge. So petiole becomes bulge in these plants while the leaflets are fall. This petiole, bulged petiole, perform photosynthesis. These are called phyllodes, modified petiole. So the modified petiole in these plants after disintegration of the leaflets perform photosynthesis. So actually leaflets only perform photosynthesis, green expanded structure. But they are short-lived, they are disintegrated. Instead of leaf lamina or leaflet, the petiole gets modified to swollen structures to meant for photosynthesis. That structures are called phyllodes, Australian Acacia. So the last one is insectivorous leaves. Or trap leaves. Insectivorous leaves are trap leaves. In these plants which are growing in nitrogen deficiency soil, the plants which are growing in nitrogen deficiency soils, the leaves gets modified into different structures to trap the insects. Hence they are called insectivorous leaves. To trap, by trapping the smaller insects, they digest the insects and get proteins from insect body and fulfill their nitrogen content. So the plants which are growing in nitrogen deficiency soil, to get nitrogen content for their nutrition, the leaf becomes modified into different organs that a leaf trap the insects. Such insectivorous leaves which are useful to trap the insects are said to be insectivorous leaves or trap leaves. For example, Nepenthes, pitcher plant. In this Nepenthes or pitcher plant, the leaf gets modified into different shapes. Base of the leaf modified into phylloid, basal part of petiole, and upper portion of the petiole modified into tendril, and the leaf lamina gets modified into pitcher, this is leaf lamina modified to pitcher, the tip of the leaf, lid, immovable lid, so you see here, the leaf lamina gets modified to pitcher, lid, leaf tip modified to lid, color lid, upper part of the petiole belong to tendril, and lower part of petiole modified to phylloid. So phylloid perform photosynthesis, tendril useful to bring the pitcher at a varied length, and the pitcher useful to trap the insect, immovable colorful lid attract the insect. Once the insect was found in this pitcher, due to hydrolytic enzymes, that insects which are trapped are undergo digested and the insect proteins are transported to the plant. Likewise, the pitcher plant trap the insects and digest the insects, kill the insects and digest the insect body and obtain proteins, that is nitrogenous content, by this mechanism. These plants grow in nitrogen deficient soil, make this adaptation to trap insect. From that insect body, they get nitrogenous content. Likewise, in some plants, Utricularia, the leaves are modified into bladder-like structures to trap the insect. They are called bladder woods. One of the example, Dionia, Venus flytrap. These are the examples, some other examples of insectivorous plants. Very important pitcher plant, Nepenthes, bladderworts, Utricularia, which is an aquatic plant, There the leaves are modified to bladder-like structures to trap the insects. Dionia, Venus flytrap. These are the examples of insectivorous plants. Insectivorous leaves. That is about a leaf modification. So in the leaf modification, we discussed about leaf tendrils, spines, storage leaves, reproductive leaves, phyllodes and insectivorous leaves or trap leaves. The final one, scale leaves. In the plant like ruscus, we already discussed the ruscus plant under cladophylls. Here, the scale leaves, the reduced leaves, the scale leaves, the leaves are reduced into dry, membranous, non-colored, non-green. So leaves gets modified to dry, membranous, non-green scale leaves to avoid transpiration, to avoid rate of transpiration. In their axils, the limited growing branches, that is stem branches were developed. These limited growing stem branches are otherwise called as cladodes or cladophylls. These limited growing stem branches called cladodes or cladophylls, which are developed in the axils of scale leaf. In the axils of scale leaf, leaves are reduced into scales. What is scale leaf? Dry, membranous, non-green leaves. Okay, to avoid rate of transpiration. But to perform photosynthesis, in the axils of the scale leaf, the limited growing branches, that is stem branches, are developed, which are called cladophylls. These cladophylls perform photosynthesis. Example, ruscus. So that is about leaf modifications. That is about a leaf. So we finished the vegetative part, that is root systems, root modifications, stem, different kinds of stems and stem modifications, leaves, types of leaves, parts of leaves, phyllotaxy, and then leaf modifications. In the next class, we are going to discuss about reproductive parts such as inflorescence, flower, parts of flower, and then fruits, finally seeds. So, we are going to discuss about inflorescence, method of arrangement of flowers on the floral axis in the next class. Thank you, students. Meet you again in the next section. Thank you.